Oh, we are live.
Wow.
Will, this is the 10th episode and you are here, Wil Sabin.
Hello.
Fair to say you probably got the most frequent fly points out of any dancer I know. It's probably fair to say.
I think, do you know, I'm in the air a lot.
Yes.
Every week. Yeah, thank you for picking me up from the
airport.
airport.
I just picked you up from the airport. I feel like we've already done about 3 podcasts by the time we've done this one.
We have, but do you know, most of the stuff that we've talked about is not like stuff that can be talked about in front of other people.
No, yeah, not at all. So how you been?
I've been really good. This year's been really hectic. It's probably been one of the busiest years of, I would say, the past, 5, 6, 7 years. It's been really hectic. I think everything's just kind of exploded and I haven't stopped, and wearing a multitude of different hats now and trying to...
Yeah, did you think you'd be doing what you're doing now? Talked to Will 5 years ago, when probably a little bit longer when I first met you.
Yeah.
Would you think that what you're doing now is what you thought you'd be doing? Is this a game plan or have you just kind of rolled with it?
A bit of both.
Yeah?
Like, to be honest, I remember when I first started getting into choreography, it was not necessarily anything that I had really planned to do, and at the beginning, I didn't even necessarily think I was that good at it. It was kind of something that I fell into because I wanted to generate more work for myself and for my friends.
You've got people skills as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of developed from that. I mean, we were a really great group of young working dancers, and we all kind of wanted to generate more work for ourselves. So we all just sort of started doing that.
So who's they?
Like Ant and Ash, they do square division now. We were all really close, and kind of when we were all starting out, we would put each other on each other's jobs. Shannon Holtz, we were all just starting to do stuff, and we would all put each other on each other's jobs, and we would all kind of help each other out, and just to generate more work and create new projects and new shows. And they had a Gaga show that they'd created that they started touring around, which was really cool. And I started a burlesque group called the Dirty Pretty Jewels, which was really cool. And then we had a residency here with that, and then we traveled to Macau, then we launched the casino in Singapore, and then...
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, it was really cool. I got to work with a lot of different celebrity singers and singers that I had worked with over the years, and got to bring them in. We had different singers kind of every week, so it was really cool. And that's when I started working again with Courtney Gatt, so I got her in for that. I hadn't worked with her for several years, and then from that we went...
What's she doing now?
She hosts her own show on E now, called The By Life, but she just won Celebrity Big Brother, and she did RuPaul's Drag Race, but she's huge now.
She's blown up.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was that extent though.
Yeah, she has her own show on the E Network.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't mind one of those.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah.
No, so we started working together again, and then we did some more club stuff, and then she opened kind of Nevermind, and we started doing shows there, and had some really cool people like Amanda Lepore came over, and Lady Gaga actually performed there, and it was kind of a really cool club kid kind of vibe that was happening. And so that was really fun, that whole thing, but it was really great.
So that was your early stages, more working with the boys on the kind of club scene, just getting
club scene. When I first came out of full-time, I didn't get representation straight away at grad.
Right.
It was kind of the thing that everyone always wanted. And
so how did you cope with that? Because that's all I hear about is when you talk to full-timers, it's I've got to get representation. I feel like a big chunk don't get it, and then they go, oh, fuck it.
I went into just work mode. So I started creating reels for myself. I started reaching out to other agencies. I kept reaching out to PJ. He was running Detour at the time. And then I continued with pro classes at Brent Street, where I was training at the time. And PJ came and saw me at Cameron's class, and we had a meeting, and I got on a 6-month kind of probation thing, and I remember going for my first casting the very next week, and it was for the Australian Hair Fashion Awards, and there was I don't know, like, I guess like 100 guys, and every major working dancer was there. Like everyone that I had looked up to, that had taught me in full-time, that was like around the studio.
So this was your first big one, like out of full-time?
Yeah, they wanted 2 boys.
Wow.
And it was my first audition out of full-time, and I ended up booking it with Adam Williams.
Wow, get out.
And so that was really cool, and Adam kind of took me under his wing a little bit and was really helpful.
Yeah.
And he ended up using me for several years for a lot of his projects. But he kind of took me under his wing a little bit when I was just fresh out of full time. And then 2 weeks after that, I was put on a job for Michael Boyd for Mardi Gras Party, I think in 2003. And that's when I started kind of working with Shannon and Simon Lind and a lot of those dancers.
Yeah.
Like Michelle Hopper and like Kate and all of those kind of that crew.
The A-team.
Yeah. So and I was put on that job, and then from then I just like consistently worked. Then I met Anthony. Anthony moved over from Perth. He was kind of starting out around the same time I was. So we became like absolute best friends. We were like bookends for everything. And then we started doing stuff for like Jason Coleman, for Ross Coleman.
So the ball started going.
Yeah, for Cameron, for a lot of different choreographers, and we were kind of doing everything from corporate work. We did a lot of stuff for Debbie Graham for Pop Set. We did a lot of stuff for TV. We did a lot of artist stuff, starting to work with recording artists, club stuff.
Idol? Was Aussie Idol happening at the time?
Not then.
Not then? No.
Like just 2000. Actually, it was happening then, but they never had dances.
No, they didn't.
But not long after that is when I first started working for Paulini. So she was, she had just come off the first season, and I started working for her. Leah Howard was choreographing for her. Shout out Rose, the original
girl. Yeah, let's get her on. She'd do a great podcast.
She would be great.
Yeah, she would have a thing or two to say.
She will have a lot more than a thing or two to say.
Yeah.
So she was choreographing, and I ended up working for her then. And then Cameron Mitchell did another thing for Paulini, and I did that. And then, that's how I started working with Paulini, so.
And then after that, she did her own thing, then you just reached out to her and just gone, hey girl, I can kind of look after you a bit, like, how does that go down?
Well.
Because I know there would be dancers out there, and you would have been in this situation where you'll be working for someone and you go, I could do that.
Yeah, do you know, I've had dancers on, so there was another guy, James Canis. He was from Australian Idol. He was one of like the runners-up, and I had done his music video, his tour, worked on the single cover art, and I started working for a few of them that had come off Idol. After we did the stuff with Paulini, she then joined the girl group Young Divas, and then I started dancing for her then. Michael Boyd was choreographing at the time, and then I didn't really keep in contact with her, and I'm trying to just think now. I think I was at...
Because this wouldn't have been a big like Facebook time. You couldn't just like slide in the DMs or anything like that. You just couldn't do that shit then.
There was no social media.
No.
You know, MySpace was around. It was MySpace, but MySpace was kind of weird. You couldn't really like communicate with people. You had a friend and a top friend. Your top friends. And you would try and put like celebrities in there. No. My MySpace still exists because I sometimes go on there to get photos.
I can't remember my login. I remember my first song was Sexy Back that I put on. You know, you could put your song. Sexy Back, then I think I had Earth, Wind and Fire there for a while. But what was it? Do you remember the songs you used to have on there?
No way. Like, I would have no idea.
MySpace, what a crack up. I think Justin Timberlake bought that. Hey.
I don't know, but it still exists.
Yeah.
I lived in Japan for a year. I was on contract there. I did like a 30-city tour.
Yeah.
And that's when MySpace was huge. So sometimes I go on there because the photos are on there. Like, I don't know how to log in, but you can go. I don't want people to look, because honestly, there's so many random photos and I can't take them off.
I'm doing this straight away. I'm talking Wil Sabin MySpace as soon as I get on.
So I just go in there to look at some of the photos from when I was living in Japan.
I'm going to put your link.
There's random stuff from like when I was dancing with Marsha Hines, and a lot of like when I was doing Melissa Couch's stuff, like all of that stuff's on there. It's really like a time capsule.
Random story. Marsha Hines, so her daughter Danny. I'm in Thailand with my parents' dance studio, and there's a few of the girls who are 18, 19. I've gone, let's go out and get a drink, blah, blah, blah. And there's this girl just singing. And I was just like, let's go in there. Danny was there, singing in there.
Denny. She hates Danny.
Like,
hates it.
Denny. Like, she's fucking singing in this bar, though. I was just like, and I went, oh, you know, had a few. I was just like, you.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
I choreographed for her for a while. She did like I can't even think what the song was. She did like a disco cover.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And I did that and traveled around with her for a little bit. She's incredible.
But she's writing an album. She said she'll be back in Australia like next year or something, but she's been over there writing an album. Anyway.
Maybe.
Danny might be back. Who knows?
Watch that space.
Watch this space. So you've done all, so basically that's how you got going in the dance career.
Yeah, it all kind of intertwined. Because there was the club scene that me and Anthony were really heavily involved in.
Yeah.
And Anthony, I think like he first got me into like cover him like for a week that he couldn't do or something.
Right.
And then I kind of worked my way in and became friends and started working on shows, and we were doing regular stuff at a club called Arc on Sundays, and we were doing all different stuff together. And then from that, like, it just kind of developed that we would do a lot of other stuff together.
Yeah.
And the kind of like the creative and the putting shows together and working with budgets and all of that sort of stuff, you know, is where it all came from. Yeah. I think he said like the last time I saw him, he's like, you know, it's just like the drag shows on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
You know, it is. Like, we kind of learnt all the fundamentals of putting shows together, of costumes, of staging, of sets, of cover art, of all that stuff when we were doing those shows. So that was really an exciting time.
So you vibed off each other a lot, but who was influencing you guys at the time? Because I know there's like, even guys like yourself and Boydie, all the guys that you've already said, they're guys who I've looked at and I've really kind of liked their work that they're doing. Who are the guys that you looked at?
I would say like Michael was definitely, because I worked for him so much.
Yeah.
Michael and Amy, like for sure, back in the day were like doing some incredible stuff. I loved what Cameron Mitchell, like he was a huge part of my full-time development. Like I really developed a lot as a jazz dancer from him. Like, and I liked what he was doing. Adam was doing a lot of really cool kind of more model kind of stuff, and I got to do a lot of that side of things. So the people that I was working with and working for, like I was definitely influenced. But we all just kind of wanted to do our own thing. I mean, Marco had moved up a little bit later as well, and he was someone that joined our kind of group, and then he started doing his own thing with Jay McRae and a few of those artists, and then we would dance on those jobs. Like we all kind of were doing stuff and helping each other. And I think I did, the first music video I ever choreographed was for Melissa Couts, and it was kind of through the club scene. I had met Penny was her manager at the time, and she had known me from the club stuff, and had asked me, like, Melissa was going to make this huge comeback, and would I be interested in choreographing her music video? Right. And that was the first music video I ever choreographed, I think in 2004 or 5, and there was like little to no budget, like it was you know, the normal story, and I was just, you know, begged the boys to make it happen, and we all went down to Melbourne, and the three of us in that video, you can have a look. The glamorous life. We had to do the whole thing in one take, so it was really hectic, and we shot, and we shot on film back then, so it wasn't digital. So it was really, each take I think was like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So we could not we couldn't waste.
Whole clip, one take.
One take. On film, not digital. And we go through all these, so I had to like choreograph all these extras. We had like 40 extras on a poolside. We had this car pulling up, we had these girls walking, we had girls in a bathtub.
It's like borderline directing too as well though.
I had to do all of that and set everything up. We had all these guys in a boardroom. Then she goes into a bathtub and there's girls waiting there. Then she comes around and we're waiting, and we do this like dance scene with her. And
well, what's the song called? Do you remember the song?
Glamorous Life.
Glamorous Life. So, Glamorous Life.
It's a Prince wrote it. It's a cover. I think Sheila E was the original singer. The Glamorous Life. It was huge. We did so much stuff for that. We did all like the morning shows with the music videos. We did like what was it called? The Entertainment Center. We did. We traveled all the way like. Mornings with Carrie Ann, Studio Disney, GMA, like everything at the time. Like it was really big. She's we're still in touch. She's just done Real Housewives of Sydney.
Yeah.
She's fabulous. She's so amazing. Like, she was such a hoot to work with.
Yeah, she's hectic. So you've done all that, so you're really kind of establishing yourself as a choreographer and you're doing dance. Do you feel like you've been picked up now as a choreographer? Because you went from being a dancer and then all of a sudden someone said, hey, can you do this? So how did they know that you could choreograph, or was it just you had a good energy and you were just getting along really well with the talent?
I think good energy, working along with the talent well, and just, I guess, I was just doing stuff and doing stuff with Melissa and doing stuff with other artists, so they knew that I had been choreographing. So then stuff would come up where they needed a choreographer, and then they would reach out, like, and all the way through to other artists would come through, like Zoe Badwi or whether Prinny or all these different artists would kind of come through and reach out and want choreography. But now I'm in a position where I do kind of the next step above that. So I do creative direction a lot more now, which is really exciting because I get to then even hire other choreographers to work for me. So I have Matthew Godey, who works a lot for me. He's been a huge part of my company and building the Wil Sabin entertainment brand. Like, I just have loved having him by my side on so many big projects. So I do the next kind of level of things now, which is really exciting for me.
Godey for me kind of came out of nowhere. It's like everyone was dancing like this, and then kind of Godey went, oh hey, here I am. And like, I think it's actually really cool because there's a lot of choreographers that, I don't know, they kind of go like this and they go, no, this is me. But you were quite open to go, no, I've got to bring other people on board and it's going to help me develop as well. Like you were very, like, I don't know, you were very open and going, no, I think I might need some more people for this. I reckon that's like, it's good.
I think a lot of people become really possessive and really mine and don't necessarily see the bigger picture of things. And it's different in this country, but in America, every major artist or production or event that you see, there will often be a creative director, there'll be a choreographer, and then there'll be a choreographer assistant. So if you see people like Lorianne Gibson that were doing things for like Gaga, she has someone that does a lot of the choreography for her. And then she'll have like, there's a whole multitude of people that are doing stuff. But a lot of people don't see that, you know, and it happens here, but I guess it's people don't publicize it as much. A lot of large creatives here do have other people doing choreography and styling and all of that sort of stuff, but don't always necessarily advertise that. I'm very, I'm very open.
I think it's great because you're helping the people that are working with you develop their brand.
So I did music for a little bit. So I was signed as a recording artist.
And you had a few dance tracks there. They were
So that's how I met him.
Right.
So I had a choreographer and who was working on a lot of the stuff with me, Corey, and he introduced me to Matt. And Matt was just this like young, ginger hair, fresh, unbelievably creative dancer that, I had never met before. And we were in the studio kind of just rehearsing and workshopping and doing a lot of different stuff. And then when I was touring, Matt did a couple of jobs and we always kept in touch. And then I had gone, I'd gone overseas. I had the show in Vegas for a bit. And then when I came back, Jackie got me in to teach at Village and Matt was teaching there and we just really clicked again. And I've always loved his aesthetic and he, I get him up to work with the pre-professional program I run in Queensland and they just love him. He has a different point of view. A lot of people imitate his stuff, but he is the authentic, real deal. I think maybe a year ago now when I was doing the stuff for you and there was Troy and we did it for Nat Conway. Now I'd always admired Godey's stuff from a distance and I was like, oh yeah, it just looks like a lot of arms. But when you do it, it's just like, it really racks your brain. But when it's in your body, it's amazing. Especially when you get it tight. It's so good. I don't envy all the dancers that work for me because I've actually tried.
I haven't thought that hard on a gig for a very long time.
But I've tried learning. So I probably shouldn't say this because it makes me sound like No. But I've tried standing in some of the rehearsals and tried to learn some of the choreography dance breaks, and I honestly feel like it's like my brain just goes like that, and I'm like, oh, these poor dancers, you know, and like...
It sucks.
Yeah, but it ends up just looking so
Nah,
incredible.
as soon as you get it though, like, first day rehearsal, you walk out and you go, oh shit, what was that? But then you just need a night to sleep on it, look at it, like, you know, if you get the right guys there, then but it's so good that, because I think, what was it, like Australia Day? I remember seeing his stuff on, all the stuff you did in the Opera House.
Conway. So we did her Everybody's Free release. We did the Australia Day Opera House performance for Channel 10, which was just...
Such good footage came out of that. With your creative and his little bits on top of that.
Yeah, and we worked with Heather, who's a really awesome stylist as well, and we got to... It was really cool because I got to creatively work with Nat and her management and come up with a concept and a vision and a style and kind of how we wanted everything to look, and to see it all come together like that was just incredible. And those girls are amazing as well. And it's like a full circle moment. Like someone like Lauren Elton, like she's someone who I've taught since she was 13. Like I've taught her since she was very young. And Erica as well is another former student of mine. I taught her when she was maybe 15. And to then be able to give them work and have them...
It's cool,
you know, it is. It's like a full circle moment to have had a part in someone's development and training, and then to have them really good enough to be on the highest profile jobs is incredible. So I love those moments, and I get so proud of the girls when I get to give them those opportunities.
Those girls are incredible dancers, and they do get employed by a lot of people, but you personally, what would you look for in your dancers? We'll start with the girls, because there's a lot of people that would go, oh man, I'd love to book a little gig with Wil and stuff like that, and dancers don't really get feedback because they might go audition, and then you go, thank you so much for your time, you know, you never know what's coming up, and like half the room's going to get cut, you never going to talk to them again. What do you look for in a dancer that makes you go, yeah, she's the one?
It is really hard. Like the last casting I had, like I think we had like 150 people turn up, and it was just, you know, and we had 2 hours to get through everyone, and then the artists and the client come, and it's a lot. So for me, it's a full package for sure, and it really depends on who the artist is as well. It can be really down to an aesthetic and a look. You know, if we're having Nat, like we tend to kind of want brunette dancers because she's blonde. So you know, if it's an artist like Paulini, she's a little bit taller, so the boys need to be bigger and they need to be built. So it kind of depends, like from the word go, who the artist is, but above everything else, like that X factor, that spark, that attention to detail, someone that can really emulate whatever it is that's in front of them. So quite often I will teach a combo that's really my style, that's a bit more showy and a bit more jazzy, and then I'll have Go to do something that's a bit more angular and a bit more contemporary, and it's someone that can do both. So you need to be a really versatile dancer and be able to kind of pick up both things, but the full package, the X factor.
It's like a confidence as well. Like they walk in and they're
You walk in and you know, you look at them and you're like, wow, that person's got something special about them. The dancers that I use, I always like to give opportunities to new dancers and to people that are out of full time and people that have not necessarily been part of the clique. And I love doing that because I think that the industry needs to grow. You know, I had, you know, a new dancer on the last job I just did, Tori. It was one of her first big, you know, professional corporate jobs, and I love giving, you know, dancers those opportunities to work along those older girls and to really have those opportunities. So I guess that X factor, that spark, you can see when you see the girls, and if you watch the videos of the girls and the guys, even the guys that I use, it's besides being aesthetically good looking, because they all are, like they're all, I mean, you're very handsome, you work for me a lot, big time. But they're all really well-trained dancers. You know, if you really look at them and you look at the dancers that I use, if they needed to do a contemporary combination, they could. If they needed to do a real stylized jazz piece with bowler hats and do more of a Fosse thing, they could. If they needed to do a really strong commercial thing, they could. They can do anything. So a versatile, well-rounded dancer that is very good to look at. And
yeah,
they have to have the look.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a commercial industry. You have to be able to take a good photo.
Yeah.
I mean, digital content is huge now, so it's like as much as what's going on stage, the behind the scenes, the photo, the build up, the rehearsals, that's all part of it now.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can't take a good photo and you don't look good on film, then, and you might be the most unbelievable dancer in the world, but if you don't read well and you don't come up well on film or on screen,
it's kind of hard.
It's going to be a lot harder for you.
You know, I've actually never thought of that. That's the first time I've heard that, but it makes sense. Now that I'm hearing it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it is such a big part of it as well.
It is. And it's developing, it's changing. Social media is a big part of the industry now.
Yeah.
And you can kind of look the other way, and a lot of dancers aren't into it, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to buy into it, and I'm not going to. And it's only to their detriment. I can honestly tell you that a lot of the dancers that get employed for jobs, a lot of the times the clients will look at their Instagram pages, or if there's a dancer that I've never used before and I'm not holding a casting, their agency will send through their social media account and say, have a look, this is what they've been up to. And you have a look and you see how they go in class, you see what kind of photos they take, you see kind of who they are as a person, and you base your decision on that. So people's social media accounts essentially now are their digital comp card.
Have you looked at one and it's like a little bit trashy and you go, oh, okay, well, what else is there? Like, have you looked at someone based on their social media and you go, oh, all the people that I've taught? It happens.
It happens.
It happens.
I have had, I mean, I've been casting dancers for a job for Queensland even, and some of their talent, like, I don't have time to go and see them, or and I'll have a look at their social media accounts, see what their dancing is like, and see what kind of stuff they've done, and base my decision on that. Sometimes you only have half a day to book a dance, or someone will pull out and they'll be like, what about this person? If you haven't worked with them before, and the other people that it's
a little snapshot into what they're like, hey?
You can kind of just see. But as well as for me as a creative director, it's important to have content to then, for the talent. For the talent. They need stuff to be able to post and to promote that they've been doing this work.
Your behind the scenes stuff you do is really cool. I think I don't think anyone else has really done.
No.
I don't remember seeing anyone who it's kind of a really cool spin.
It's just kind of what I feel I would like to see. I did it a little bit when I did my music. So for me, when I watch music videos, something that's been the biggest thing for me that I've been inspired by is making the video. So when I watch like Toxic by Britney Spears, like I will just like count down for the making of, because that's all I want to see. I want to see the behind the scenes, I want to see the rehearsals, I want to see what's happening behind for all of that to happen.
Before the big
so for me, I've tried to, I've always done it with photographers. Like I quite often will, if it's not me with a camera attached to my hand, I'll hire a photographer on larger jobs so that I can make sure that I get that cool behind the scenes, candid kind of moments, because I think that that's what people are like quite drawn to and interested in.
Big
and
time.
It's not necessarily about always what happens on stage. Sometimes it's how the dancers are doing their makeup. Sometimes it's about the styling, about all the shoe choices. Sometimes it's about, there's a photo of Nat, I think, from Opera House, and I think there's like 8 people around her, like pulling and hair and
like
makeup
cool
and things. That's something that's really cool that people on television, when they're watching TV, they would never get to see. So for me, it's kind of providing that kind of behind the scenes look at it. And now it's moved into film, because I've got some amazing like filmmakers, Braid and Harry I work with, the guys from Moose I've been working with, and they do some really amazing content. And it's really, so then it like, you can see what's going on, and you can see the glamour, and you can see, the girls walking to stage, and you can see it all, and then They have stuff to post, their agents have stuff to put on their profiles, I have stuff to send to other clients to book more work, the choreographers have stuff to post. It ends up just being a kind of a great thing for everyone.
It kind of creates, you become like a desirable choreographer with people also. They go, oh, doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
You know, like people, they're not just looking at the gig.
No.
They're looking at everything. So even for you, your stock rises as well because they look at what you create.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And then the dancers watch that and they want to be on those jobs.
Yeah.
So then they want to, you know, come to my workshops, or they come to my masterclasses, or they come to the castings because they want to be a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, casting process is hard. I always try and make it fun because I think that so many times castings are just ruthless. And I like to make it feel like at least they're getting a good class out of it. Someone said that to me, like, if nothing else, when you go to a casting, treat it like a free class.
Yeah.
Get what you can from it.
Yeah.
You know, it's an hour more of a free class that you didn't have to pay for.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I try to run the auditions.
I don't think I have auditioned for. Obviously, I've worked for you a couple of, but I remember I was away the last time that happened. But I've been in some brutal ones. And like you're a nice guy, so I'd imagine it would go down quite nicely when you have to. Do you cut people?
I didn't used to. I used to let everyone stay till the end.
But
now I have to, because we couldn't fit in the room. Like the studio was like it was. They couldn't learn the choreography, and they physically couldn't dance. It was like. Yeah, scroll back like on my Instagram feed.
I remember seeing it. It was packed.
It was packed. We couldn't fit any more people in. Like I should have done two rounds. It was too much. Yeah. I actually didn't think that many people would come, and it was like 150 people turned up. So
people are hungry for it. They really just want people to give them a chance, you know. But I was at one, and the choreographer just literally went. He was cutting the guys. And literally, he just walked straight and just went, no. I'm standing there going, bro, you can't do this. Like, he's literally going up, saying, no. It was a crack up now thinking back to it, but I was thinking, man, there's certain ways to do it. And you can get...
I just do numbers, and usually I'll get like, I think Tara was assisting me on the last one. I think I got her to do it maybe, or maybe Matt, and then was just reading out the numbers. I hate doing it. I hate cutting dancers because I find
Tara would be good at cutting people. I feel like she would just go, nah.
No, Tara's sweet. Like those girls, she's sweet. She's I think she's amazing. She was so good to have, and she's such a hard worker. But I actually remember calling a wrong number maybe, and this person thought. And she was standing, it was like, oh, well, you know, 58 or something. And I was just like, no, sorry. And I was just like, no, sorry. And they were like, did you say 58? I was like, no.
No, I didn't say that.
I was like, no, like, and that moment, like, my heart just sank for that person because everyone was still there. And I was like, this is just awful for that person.
You feel like just kind of like that.
I always wanted to just keep them there and be like, no, I did see you.
Yeah, you should have just kept them in and then cut them next time. Anyway.
No, it's too hard.
Yeah.
No, Tara's worked for me for years. Like, she's one of, like, my original girls. Like, she is someone that clients are always happy with. She is the person that if you go into the dressing room, she'll be there unpacking the boots for the dancers. She's, do you need a hand with the makeup? Do you need a hand with this? Can I help with, do you need picking up from the station? Like, she's that person. Like, she's a go-to girl for me. Like, she's incredible. Tara, I love you.
Yeah, she's stunning. What's up, Tara? Yeah, I'll be actually chatting to her. I should get her on here.
You should get her on.
I feel like people need to know her a little bit better as well, because she is naturally so you know, pretty and hot and all that type of thing. I think people, if they don't know her, they might just put her in a certain category. But when you get to know her, she's a sweetheart. I think all those girls, you know what I mean, they all can be misconceived, I think, but they are really like hard-working, humble, unbelievably talented, stunning girls. They're all awesome. Paris, Siobhan, Tara, Ashley, all of them, so good. Great. Anyway, I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about you. Okay. So what else? You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we touched on you dabbled in the singing and you had a few hot tracks floating around, but you just come off the show as well.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that. How was that?
That was really cool. So it was
all together.
All Together Now.
Yes.
So I was one of the judges on that. That was really exciting. It was. We didn't really know how it was going to go, but we've ended up just getting the reports back from 7, and it's been the highest rated show for Channel 7 for 2018.
Insane.
So, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's been really, really cool because, the X Factor budget got split up into 3 different TV shows. And ours was one of them, and yeah, we've had the #1 rating, and we got #1. As soon as the block finished, like, it was really hard to compete with the block.
Yeah, but that thing's a juggernaut.
Yeah, we still got really good numbers. We were still getting like 1.8, 1.7, 1.6 million. And we ended up, after the block finished, we were #1, like in the entertainment time slot, which was really cool. It was awesome, but it was, it's crazy what ends up on TV because we don't film it live.
No, it's cut to bits.
Yeah, so you don't know kind of what's going to end up on air and what's not. But the whole experience was just incredible. And the singers that came on there, the whole premise was just to have fun. And I think people really resonated with that. And it became really authentic because people at home knew that, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of those other shows, they're like recycling talent from all the other shows, and it's all kind of like, you know, it all feels very recycled, and it doesn't feel really, and people at home, I think, are kind of starting to feel that. And they're creating a pop star and transforming them and adding the dancers and the whole thing and all of that. Like, it's not necessarily authentic for a lot of the artists that are on there. So for this, it was just singers, get up, sing whatever song you want, have fun, get as many people standing as you can, walk away with $100,000, no recording contract where you're locked into 10 albums and sign your life away for the rest of your life.
Singing carols for the next 15 years,
So none of that, just pure, here's some money, put it towards, you know, whatever. So I've been working with the winner, Lai, which has been... so he just won the show, and we just did the Michael Tynan Memorial Challenge Gala Dinner, which was an unbelievable gala dinner for Medical Research Foundation. And we had 3 different recording artists. We had Nat Conway, we had Prinny, and we had Lai. And he is just so talented. Like, plays the bongos, sings, dances, did like a full kind of 20-minute set, and was just so much fun.
You did 20 minutes set, just him, and he was good? Right. So after the show, you just reached out and just said, hey, loved you on the show, and
I know him, like, because he's Fijian, so Paulini knew him, and we trained together at the gym, me and Paulini a little bit, so we had been speaking about the show, and she performed a really huge charity event in Fiji, I think, with him. He had won like maybe Fiji Idol or something like that. He's quite like well known over there as well. So she had known of him, and after he won, I spoke to him after the show, and I was like, oh, I work with Paulini, and blah, 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 and then it kind of worked out from there that we started working together. But we've got some other stuff coming up next year, which is really cool as well. So he is one to watch.
That's hectic. You've got him like working side, like you'd be able to, and you know a thing or two about, you know, maybe try this, maybe do that.
Yeah, because he'd done a lot of covers band stuff with his band, Hamilton Band, but had never worked and performed as just a solo artist. So this event was kind of the first big performance as Lai. So it was, you know, we had to really work with him and his manager about like the direction of who he is as an artist. What is his repertoire? What does his shows look like? And I mean, it's like that for a lot of artists. Like I work with Alfie a lot as well, who won The Voice, and he, you know, will have meetings with the label, and it's like a full package thing of what does the show look like, who is the audience, what does it involve, how is it different, what is it going to relate to, like all of those questions, and then you start to kind of build on who that artist is as a brand. So
with Lai, did you like, are you suggesting did he have a direction, or did you go?
Yeah, for sure.
So he was quite certain what he wanted to do, and you're like, okay, I can make that happen.
Like he is funk. He is soul.
Yeah.
He is Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. He is Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
He is that real kind of like love on top, Beyonce, like that funk, that Prince, that he's like kissed by Prince. Like it's that vibe.
Yeah.
And he dances and he just plays live instruments as well. Like he's the full package.
Yes.
But the show was awesome. I mean, we really had no idea kind of going into it what it would be like.
Yeah.
And we, you know, with 100 judges, it was just really crazy and so many personalities and no one really knew what...
so many personalities, Well, I grew up through my mum's dance studio with Brendan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he just kind of, past couple of years have just kind of, you know...
He's outrageous.
He's out there.
Yeah, do you know, I, like... Because I had worked with like General Pants and a few other like places to work on my looks and stuff for the show, and I thought I was really well styled and really like trendy, and I was like serving looks, and I was gonna be like, you know, and then I met him, and I'm like, oh, like,
and then homeboy Grasshopper's down there in the fourth row,
like,
going, what's up?
That's what's up. Like that's it, you know. But I love him. He's so
he's great,
creatively in his own world, and just does his own thing. And you know, it was different hair colors every episode, and different vibes, and just really cool kind of background as to what he was inspired by as well. Like his finale outfit was like, I think it was like if Moschino had dressed Peter Allen. He was in like, you know, AstroTurf with flowers.
Yeah, that's the last one I saw,
That was our grand finale. So I'm like in like a black custom sequin blazer thinking that I'm fierce, and I'm like, I've got, you know.
You rocking that with the hat? Yeah.
I was still fierce.
No, you're killing it on that,
But... yeah, his outfits were like the next level.
Yeah, he was in a different category. I don't think we were comparing the AstroTurf to the
he was giving jacket. He was giving Gaga, and I was giving.
I don't know. I think just now you're just giving a little bit of Wil Sabin on top. Yeah. So that's a really good nutshell of basically, you know, kind of fast forward through the first half. You've done your TV show, singing, choreo.
Yeah, I had done Top Model before that. So I judged on New Zealand's Next Top Model. So I kind of gotten my foot in the door. I did like So You Think actually before that. I did the first season of that. So that was kind of my first taste of reality television. I had done a lot of television growing up, but I did So You Think, which was really awesome. And then it was that, like, you know, that was a hugely watched show, and that gave platform to a lot of dancers generally.
So you think, that first season was good.
It was huge. Yeah. And then from that, I did New Zealand's Next Top Model, and then I did Asia's Next Top Model, which was really cool.
Right, okay.
And then I had just kind of been itching to get back into television a little bit. They were possibly going to do a reboot of Australia's Next Top Model, and then that didn't end up happening, and then this kind of came up, and the producers reached out to me and said, you know, would you be interested in being a judge? It's a new Channel 7 show. I'm like, I would. So I did, and I really loved it. And it's just...
So you're, at the moment, I'd love to say you're going in one direction, but I feel like you're going in about 5 directions, because you've got the agency up north, you've got your own kind of teaching stuff, the Wil Sabin training stuff, which is great that you go, obviously your choreo stuff, and you've just come off the TV show. So do you know what the next year's looking like, or are you just going to keep booked?
I'm booked till next December.
Right.
Yeah. So
can you say with what, or is
some things. Like some huge corporate events that are coming up. I'm doing the Australian Champion Business Awards again. That'll be the 3rd year in a row. That's a really huge event that I think is even growing again next year. We had that at the Star this year, which was really awesome. I do the Australian Small Business Awards tour. So we had Paris and Siobhan on that with Kira and Greg. They went around and did a 25-day tour around New South Wales, so I'm working on that already. I have the pre-professional program in Queensland that I run. It's the Evolution pre-professional program. That's a 20-week program that I help develop young, like pre-professional and professional dancers. This year was the first year that we ran the program, and it was
how'd it go?
like unbelievably successful.
Yeah.
I would say we have a pretty much 100% success rate with either dancers working locally or having contract work overseas.
Yeah. So is that like obviously you give them choreo and stuff like that, but a lot of
it's development. So I mentor the entire program.
Right.
So
okay.
every week they have a masterclass on a Wednesday morning from 9 till 12, and I bring in different. All different people. So Tim Hill, who's an incredible director, will work with them on how to do a self-test for acting, how to do script work. I'll have Jess Stokes that will come up and work on backing vocal repertoire with them. So she'll go through the stuff that she does with Jess Malboy. Godie will come up and do a commercial workshop on how to really hit stuff angularly, how to work with more modeling kind of stuff. I have like Amy Campbell did musical theatre with them.
Right.
I had Fernando Barraza come up and do an entirely styled portfolio.
Wow.
So they get an entirely styled portfolio from it. And I oversee everything. So I work on development with them from their social media accounts, on what their hair should be like, on how they present themselves, how the kind of comp card that they should be creating for themselves, all of their looks, what kind of brand they're creating for themselves.
Amazing.
Then through to the photo shoot, I'm there and direct them and help them on that, because that's what my experience is. We do a video reel with them. So Braden Harry, who's in America at the moment doing amazing stuff, but he worked with them and did all of their video reels. New headshots, CV work. Talia Fowler does a lot of audition repertoire, body maintenance, classical foundation. She works with them a lot on audition prep. We had Elisa Cadwell, who's the casting consultant for Celebrity Cruises, do mock auditions with them, but not just a mock audition. So they'll do the mock audition and then we will give them feedback on everything.
I feel like I should do this course, to be honest. I feel like there's a few pros floating around Sydney that should maybe go up and brush up.
It really is. And it's just a really great way to kind of be around peers, to re-get that confidence. A lot of people kind of finish full-time and they lose direction, or they'll do a couple of contracts and then they come back and they kind of don't really have that dance support or clique or friends and stuff to kind of get into. So they get that support, they get that friend network happening. They do their masterclass every week. Erin and Abby, who are the owners of Evolution, they also look over the program as well. So there's three of us kind of overseeing everything. Abby owns Dynamite, which is they get to do drop-in classes with the full-timers there. So we create a program for them. So if someone wants to get a cruise ship contract, then we make sure that they are doing their tech, that they're doing their kicks, turns and leaps, that they're doing a jazz class with me, that they're doing their circ work with Alyssa, that they're doing all of those things that they need to then be ready for that audition and that contract. Yeah, but we have dancers everywhere at the moment, Royal Caribbean doing inaugural cast about to leave, the celebrity ship The Edge that just launched, 2 in Disney Paris, 1 in Disney Tokyo, another one that's leaving for Celebrity in another few weeks, all around, and then commercial dancers that work in Queensland as well. They're all working, and it's through, we do a workshop at the end where we get to invite choreographers and industry professionals, and they put the whole thing together themselves. So they do all the choreography, they do lighting design, they do the programs, they do the tickets, they do everything.
There's so many now educated dancers entering this industry. The training that dancers get now is crazy. Because even I know some, maybe not to that extent, that's pretty nuts how much they're learning. That's crazy. But it's just nuts how many and I think the Sydney guys, some people just think it's their full time, but then when you think about it, there's so many dancers who are getting pumped in this industry, hey?
I mean, it always has been like that. When I did full time, there was 100 dancers, know, and maybe 2 or 3 are still in the industry, you know. And that's really it, kind of from every full-time year. And you think about that course, and now there'll be 5 or 6 full-time programs just in Sydney alone, or in Queensland there's 2 main kind of full-time programs. You think about those 50 with that 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 50, and then you think of then Melbourne, then all of those places. trying to enter the industry all at the same time and trying to all get that same work when there already is a group of people that are working consistently that don't even really necessarily have enough work as it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like maybe one or two will enter the industry and work from all of those people every year.
Well, I was sitting at a table with guys who are kind of in their 23 to 26, and we're looking at their two age, I think it was like 2011, 2012 full times, and I think we counted 10 people over the 2 Brent Street years. And roughly, you know, there would have been about 160 to 170 people in those 2 years.
Yeah.
And 10 of them are working. And probably 5 of those 10 are consistent.
But you know what? It's really weird though. Like Sydney full-time courses are really all about trying to be like a commercial dancer and trying to be in with the, you know, with the top agency and the clique and that whole thing, and just booking that one job, or, you know, if they'll do a job for that person or for myself or whatever, it's like that's, you know, a big thing for them. Whereas in Queensland, and especially at Dynamite, it's they really train dancers to work, and so that their goals, if you ask all of their full-timers and all of the high school students coming through, it's contracts. If you look at all their vision boards, it's like Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Celebrity, Disney, Cirque du Soleil. It's all of that stuff, and because that's where they see these dancers that we're training. And you know, I think we just had 7 contracts in the past 2 weeks. So that's
massive. That's
huge.
It's huge.
And they're all working, you know what I mean, for that next 10, 11 months, dancing
and
around the world,
yeah.
earning money.
Yeah.
And I think people have a misconception with contract work and ship shows as that they're kind of dated and naff, and it's kind of like whatever it is. Yeah. But it's, if you look at the level of production that are on those shows now, it's better than most stuff that's going on anywhere, or any like any.
Well, the theatres that they build on these, that they build on the ships, like I didn't know much about it. I know my parents did a lot on the ships all the way through the 80s. Yeah. And then I don't know, it went through it was a shocking thing to kind of put out there. But it went like, if you did a cruise ship, it was kind of like, oh,
you failed. No,
you didn't make it.
No, it was like
shocking.
That. When I first, that's what I mean though, like, when I first entered the industry, like, I got Royal and I got other ship contracts, and it was like, we were kind of advised not to do that, because it was like, you know what I mean? You have work here and you want to build your brand and you want to do that whole thing. Whereas, I mean, especially in Queensland, I notice it more that...
Oh, hang on.
We got guests?
Got a bit of guests. It's alright, keep going. Yeah, no, so you got offered a contract.
And it's different in Queensland. They want to build like careers for themselves by earning money, by doing contracts, by traveling the world, by saving money to buy a house, to set up their own studios, to set up their own things like that. Like that's what they want to do. It's it's a different mentality there. So I love that about it, because it's really real. And I think I would rather train dancers to be working and performing every single week and be traveling the globe and doing high-level production shows than sitting around waiting for that one job, working part-time in a cafe or a clothing store, or teaching. And so many amazing dancers teach more than they perform, you know what I mean?
And it's huge. Teaching is such a big thing here in Sydney.
So for me, I would rather them, you know, I just had another student leave for Moulin Rouge 2 weeks ago. Like, I would rather her go and work at Moulin. I'd rather her be traveling with Royal. I'd rather her be, or you know, the guys that are like doing those things and performing and learning and growing and being in theatres and doing that whole thing. Because for me, when I was younger, there was a lot more work, and we were on so many different jobs, and we were working non-stop. Like, I didn't teach for 11 years. Like, I literally didn't teach anything. Not one thing. Not a master class, not a workshop, nothing. I just danced for 11 years and choreographed. And only recently, in the past 4 or 5 years, have I gotten back into
It's kind of unheard of to have that now. Like, you really got a good time to kind of, you know, get your feet planted. It was good. Yeah, you got a very good time with it.
Yeah, but I've been really lucky as well. I've been like fortunate enough to be with studios and performing arts schools that really believe in what I do and what I bring to the table and really respect me, and the students really respect me and work hard, and I really think that's a huge part of it, you know. I've loved getting back into teaching. I think I have something to offer now. I have knowledge. I have things to teach.
I think now, like, you're probably someone that a lot of studios would look at to bring in, because obviously you've got your training that you learned growing up, but you've got so many work, like, professionally. Like, think of all the stuff we just spoke about. Like, there's TV work, there's recording stuff, there's you working as a choreographer, you working as a dancer, you working for, like, fashion stuff as well. So to have one teacher that can go, like, you could fill a 4-hour time slot easy.
I do a whole day. I do 12 hours on Tuesdays in Queensland every week.
Crazy.
I do 9 till 9. Every week.
You're a madman.
And then I do Wednesdays as well.
You're a talented man, but you're a madman. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a lot.
That's
so,
good.
I mean, because I do a multitude of different things. Even for their grad, like, I had 7 pieces. Because I can do musical theatre, I can do jazz, I can do modelling, I can do tap, I can choreograph any of those things. So I get to be able to, you know, even with the diplomas, I do business development with the second years, and we do pitches, so they'll have to come up with a creative concept for the X Factor, and they have to put together an entire proposal with market research on what the age range is, on to the artist, to the performance, to costumes, to hair, to makeup, to dancers, to choreography references, to camera angles, to lighting references, and I work on all of that with them because that's what I do for a job. So I have that to offer too. Second term, we get to do concept videos. You know, third term, we're working on budget proposals, on corporate events. We're working on, so I get to teach all of that stuff too. So it's like,
but then you have to learn that stuff on the fly. But if you're kind of giving that experience, it's great.
I mean, I never was taught it from anyone.
No one gets taught that, but now they do. Actually, but you know what? I don't think anyone's going that in depth with it, because I kind of teach similar stuff, not as in depth as what you've just said just then. So I think there's a lot of people, if they want to look at their training, maybe Gold Coast could be a good option.
Oh yeah, Dynamite really. If you want, like, it's where it's at. And it's like it's a new level, and they have unbelievable trainers besides myself on a regular basis.
Well, those names you were just saying before, like, there's no slouches there. Like, there's no one. Like, you're going to be learning from every single person. It's crazy what young dancers can do today. You know, and I'm so tough on my kids, and I have, you know, I have 10-year-olds that win, you know, national titles, and all that stuff, and travel to America to represent Australia and stuff. And, you know, I'm really tough on them in class, but I'm like, I for sure couldn't do 8 pirouettes when I was that age. And I'm like, I wasn't even dancing.
And I'm like, come on, go for 9, like, go for 9, like, where's pull up, like, you know, I'm like, back then, double pirouette, like, I'm a good turner, like, you can turn, you did a triple, ooh, you know, now I'm like,
a triple pirouette there for a while, like, if you were getting triples, I remember, if we saw it like a troupe, and everyone hit a triple, you'd be like, oh, but now it's kind of like,
triples are nothing. It's like a side aerial. I'm like, and I'm like, and can you do it into a split? Can you hold your leg up at the end? Can you do it, you know what I mean? And now it's a front aerial to a split. It's a back somersault to a, it's like, it's kind of like the tricks of, you know what I mean? Side aerials is like, it's a cartwheel. Like, it's not impressive. No,
anyone can do that.
So everything's progressed so much. But back when I was dancing, like, because I did gymnastics as well, if I did a back handspring in my routine, it was like, wow, you know, and he does tricks, you know.
The big trick stuff.
And now, for sure, I think we have like 7, 8-year-olds that are all doing back handsprings, everything, like crazy stuff. And it's like, and I'm like, you know, and have you got your layout yet? and they're like 7, and they're like, no, but I'm working on it.
It's like, okay, Susie, go back and try. But that's right. It's crazy the talent they get so young. Well, I feel like I need to do maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 podcasts with you just to get everything out.
No, I know.
But I'm going to wrap it up here because we've been talking for a bit, and there's a lot of good stuff there. So I'm going to put obviously all your credentials on the back, or how to contact you, and all your Instas and all that. But we should be watching you because it sounds like you're 20. What's next year? 2019 is already
2019. Some exciting stuff. Going back to New Zealand again. Doing some master classes. Look out for that. Going around Australia. I've got like Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne. Doing some master classes around there. which is really exciting. I've been doing stuff with the Elite Extension Program, shout out.
What's up?
Yeah, and just some artists that I'm working with at the moment that's really exciting that you'll just have to wait and find out for next year.
You need to get some auditions happening again. I think people need to get in front of your ass. Because when was the last one?
I know.
It was 6 months ago, was it? Or maybe a bit longer? No, it was longer than that.
It was just after Share.
Oh, we didn't even touch on that. Yes,
know.
you did work with the Queen herself, didn't you?
Yeah, that was.
How was that?
That was incredible.
Yeah,
it was really awesome. I mean, there's no one bigger than her.
No.
And we got to.
This is when she was out here for Mardi Gras.
So yeah, so we did the activation in the middle of the parade. We did an entire performance with I think 150 performers. We had. Drag queen shares, we had sailors, we had all this different stuff going on, and then her. It was really unbelievable. It was it was super.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, I don't think I'll.
I think that would have been good. You're looking at that going, holy shit, that's a little pinch myself.
No, because I was looking back because Godie had come over and like we were workshopping the choreo in my living room. I was just watching it on my laptop the other day.
Right.
And then it's so crazy to see kind of how it all comes together and just, I mean, the press went berserk when she came out. Like it was just, it was just nuts. It was so nuts. We just didn't know, like everything all happened so quickly and it all just kind of like, we couldn't really anticipate what was going to happen when she kind of appeared, and they couldn't announce that she was going to either because it would have just been chaos.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no one bigger than her. There's like, she's had a #1 hit, I think, for the past 6 decades, and there'll be no one that's, you know what I mean, that's had a career like that. That's a legend that's left. You know, we've already lost Prince and Michael and, you know, Whitney, all of those big, like, she is it. There's no one bigger. You can't get bigger than Cher.
No, well, no one who has been doing it for that long, like, no one could compete with that. And I don't think artists can hang around that long now either. Like, they all fizzle out.
Since the, I think, 50s or 60s. Must be the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, you just can't compete with that. Love it. All right, Will. I'm glad we got that. I think you need to.
Next, it'll be like April.
April?
Yeah, I've got some big events coming up in April.
Yeah, because I think you need to keep going on this thing that you're doing where you're giving new people opportunities.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
like that. Because otherwise, no one
will keep calling me for gigs because I'm still available. No, but that's all right. All right, cool. Well, guys, Wil Sabin. That was one hell of a podcast. Give it up. Wil Sabin. Yeah.